Envision a reality where every second of your day is dedicated to seeking pleasure. Consider the allure of perpetual satisfaction, a continuous flow of entertainment, distractions, and indulgences crafted to fulfill your every desire. Now reflect on the question, what cost would you be willing to pay for this? Could the unending pursuit of happiness lead not to freedom, but to bondage? Today, we will discuss how the quest for pleasure, as cautioned by Aldous Huxley, can morph into a form of modern enslavement. We will delve into timeless insights and modern psychology to uncover how our yearning for comfort, convenience, and instant gratification may be subtly stripping us of our freedom and humanity. By the conclusion of this video, we will present a profound revelation, a viewpoint that could transform your perspective on life forever. Let us embark on this exploration of the concealed perils of pleasure and how we can reclaim our freedom in a world intent on binding us to transient desires. In his influential book, Brave New World, Aldous Huxley illustrates a disturbing vision of a dystopia where humanity has relinquished its independence for the facade of happiness. In this society, people are pacified with soma, a drug that guarantees their contentment, regardless of how devoid of meaning their lives have become. Huxley's dystopia was not constructed with chains or prisons, but rather through pleasures so captivating that no one felt compelled to resist. He argued that this represents the most subtle form of consider the society we inhabit today, with the incessant notifications and the never-ending scroll of social media. Aren't we also being presented with our own version of this phenomenon? Psychologists like Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, who is renowned for his research on the concept of flow, caution us that while technology can foster moments of engagement, it can also ensnare us in cycles of addictive behavior. Algorithms deliver customized pleasures, videos, ads, and content that keep us captivated, but ultimately leave us feeling unfulfilled. Take a moment to reflect. How frequently do you reach for your phone for a quick burst of joy, only to realize that hours have slipped by, leaving you feeling more exhausted than satisfied? The quest for pleasure has a darker aspect that modern psychology refers to as the hedonic treadmill. This idea illustrates that no matter how much happiness we attain, we quickly acclimate to it, reverting to a baseline level of contentment. Whether it's a new vehicle, a tasty meal, or an exhilarating experience, the joy diminishes and the desire for the next thrill begins anew. In Huxley's words, we become captives of our own desires, perpetually pursuing a satisfaction that remains just beyond our grasp. This is not just a theoretical concern. Research indicates a concerning link between the increase in modern conveniences and a decline in mental health. A 2020 study published in the Journal of Affective Disorders found that excessive screen time, especially on social media, correlates with higher levels of anxiety and depression. What's even more concerning is how this cycle perpetuates itself the more isolated and dissatisfied we become. The more we turn to the very devices that contribute to our unhappiness. What is the real price of this relentless chase for pleasure? Philosopher Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and author of Man's Search for Meaning, contended that true fulfillment arises not from pursuing happiness, but from discovering purpose. He argued that when people lack meaning in their lives, they are more inclined to seek distractions, which only intensifies their existential emptiness. Reflect on this. Are you leading a purposeful life, or have you inadvertently let the quest for pleasure dominate your decisions? This inquiry is not just theoretical, it has significant practical implications. Each day, we encounter choices. Should we binge watch another series or spend quality time with family? Should we scroll mindlessly or focus on our personal development? These seemingly trivial moments accumulate and shape the structure of our lives. Aldous Huxley once noted that most people have an almost limitless ability to take things for granted. In our quest for constant pleasure, we often overlook the more profound joys of life: connections with others, creativity, self-exploration, and contributing to something larger than ourselves. This leads us to an important realization: when pleasure is pursued carelessly, it does not grant us freedom. Rather, it forms invisible chains that are nonetheless very real. These chains tether us to habits, cravings, and distractions that drain our energy, time, and potential. As we proceed, we will delve into the hidden systems that flourish on our dependence on pleasure and how we can liberate ourselves from them. For now, consider this: are you truly living as a free person, or are you simply a consumer in a world that benefits from your desires? Let this question guide you as we embark on a deeper exploration of understanding and self-liberation. What lies ahead will challenge your perceptions of both the world and yourself. Picture a marketplace where your attention is the currency. In this realm, the most precious asset isn't gold, oil, or even technology, it's you. Every moment spent scrolling, clicking, or consuming means you're not just interacting with content. You're being traded. Welcome to the attention economy, a system that thrives on your craving for pleasure and keeps you ensnared in a perpetual cycle of consumption. To grasp how profoundly this system influences us, we need to examine how it takes advantage of our biology. Neuroscientist Dr. Robert Sapolsky, a leading authority on stress and dopamine, has shed light on how our brains are inherently designed to chase after rewards. Each time we indulge in something enjoyable, our brain releases dopamine, a neurotransmitter that strengthens our behaviors. Whether it's the fleeting joy of receiving likes on a post, the thrill of a new purchase, or the exhilaration of winning a game, this dopamine surge creates a cycle that draws us back time and again. However, there's a poignant twist. The anticipation of pleasure often triggers a greater release of dopamine than the pleasure itself. This explains our anxious wait for a text reply or our compulsive habit of refreshing our feeds. It's not the actual outcome that captivates us, but rather the tantalizing possibility of reward that ensnares our hearts. In this relentless pursuit, the attention economy transforms us into eternal seekers, forever longing yet never truly fulfilled. Reflect on how this plays out in your own life. Have you ever caught yourself mindlessly checking your phone or yearning for something, a snack, a video, a moment of affirmation, only to feel an emptiness afterward? These moments are not mere coincidences. They are meticulously crafted experiences. As Tristan Harris, a former design ethicist at Google, points out, these platforms are engineered to exploit our weaknesses. They employ what he terms intermittent variable rewards, a strategy borrowed from the mechanics of slot machines to keep us ensnared. This echoes Aldous Huxley's vision in Brave New World, where the quest for pleasure was not merely an individual flaw, but a societal mechanism for control. The sadness lies in our unending chase, a cycle that leaves us yearning for connection, yet feeling more isolated than ever. Individuals became so absorbed in their desires that they overlooked or disregarded the erosion of their autonomy. Today, we encounter a similar danger. Although we may not be using drugs, we are bombarded with digital distractions that fulfill the same role, soothing us and ensuring our compliance. But why is this significant? Because the unrestrained chase for pleasure not only consumes our time, it also diminishes our potential. When we place fleeting satisfaction above meaningful endeavors, we forfeit the chance to develop, learn, and make contributions. In his book Deep Work, author Cal Newport emphasizes how superficial interactions with technology undermine our capacity to concentrate and achieve expertise. He contends that the most significant rewards in life arise not from easy pleasures, but from persistent effort and deep focus. Reflect on this. How much of your time is dedicated to activities that genuinely enhance your life? How frequently do you choose immediate gratification over lasting fulfillment? These inquiries are not intended to induce guilt, but to inspire awareness. Acknowledging our habits is the initial step toward regaining our freedom. However, escaping this cycle is often more challenging than it seems. The society we inhabit not only promotes pleasure-seeking, but also normalizes it. From ads that promise instant joy to cultural narratives linking success with material possessions, we are incessantly told that having more equates to being better. Philosopher Erich Fromm, in his book To Have or to Be, cautioned against this pitfall. He contended that the modern world's fixation on ownership over existence leads to a shallow life, where genuine joy is supplanted by the empty thrill of possession. But what lies beyond this bleak reality? It starts with a transformation in perspective, shifting from the relentless chase of pleasure to the pursuit of purpose. This doesn't imply forsaking joy or indulgence. Rather, it calls for a reevaluation of their significance in our lives. As psychologist Martin Seligman, the pioneer of positive psychology, has revealed, the most enriching lives are those anchored in meaning, engagement, and connection. Pleasure plays a role in this equation, yet it is merely a fragment of the whole. Take a moment to ponder what truly brings you joy. Not the ephemeral kind that dissipates with time, but the enduring fulfillment that arises from creating, connecting, and contributing. Can you pinpoint an aspect of your life where you are favoring fleeting gratification over lasting growth? As we plunge deeper into this exploration, we will uncover tangible methods to break free from the shackles of the attention economy and rediscover the essence of intentional living. But for now, cling to this unsettling truth. The unbridled pursuit of pleasure morphs into a form of enslavement. To attain true freedom, we must learn to distinguish between what delights us and what ultimately leads to our ruin. The answers to these haunting questions do not lie in the next distraction, but in the stillness of self-reflection. Let us embark on this journey together, revealing how we can reclaim our time, our focus, and ultimately our very lives. What lies ahead will challenge everything you believe about happiness and freedom. Let us delve deeper into the dark psychological and philosophical ramifications of a life consumed by the relentless chase for pleasure. If history has taught us anything through the insights of thinkers like Aldous Huxley and contemporary psychologists, it is this: unbridled hedonism does not merely ensnare individuals. It reconfigures entire societies into something unrecognizable. Reflect on the notion of soft tyranny, a term that evokes a sinister form of control that masquerades as comfort rather than oppression. Alexis de Tocqueville, in his dissection of democratic societies, cautioned that one day people might willingly relinquish their freedoms in exchange for the seductive embrace of comfort and security. This is the very dystopia Huxley foresaw in Brave New World, a realm where compliance is not enforced through fear or violence, but rather through the intoxicating allure of pleasure and distraction. Now, gaze upon our reality. Each day, we are inundated with alluring promises of ease, smart devices that think for us, and apps that deliver instant gratification, all while a culture venerates convenience above all else. While these innovations may cloak our lives in comfort, they also weave a web of dependency around us. The less effort we invest in our existence, the more power we cede to those who manipulate these systems. Yet, here lies the insidious truth. This dependency does not feel like bondage. It masquerades as progress. It feels pleasurable, and therein lies its true danger. As Huxley articulated, a truly efficient totalitarian regime would be one where the omnipotent political elite and their legion of managers govern a populace of willing slaves who do not require coercion because they revel in their own servitude. Reflect on how this chilling reality resonates with your own life. How many of your choices are genuinely yours, and how many are ensnared by the cold grip of algorithms, fleeting trends, or the suffocating weight of societal expectations? When was the last time you willingly embraced discomfort for the sake of growth, rather than surrendering to the seductive allure of the easy path? This isn't merely a personal dilemma. The shadows of a pleasure-driven culture extend far and wide, tainting relationships, communities, and even the very earth we inhabit. Philosopher Soren Kierkegaard captured this haunting reality as the despair of an aesthetic existence, where the pursuit of beauty and pleasure eclipses the search for meaning and responsibility. He posited that true fulfillment lies in the embrace of an ethical life, a life steeped in purpose, commitment, and lofty ideals. Now, envision two paths before you. One is smooth, inviting, and deceptively easy, leading to a hollow existence filled with fleeting pleasures. The other is rugged, steep, and fraught with challenges. It demands effort and sacrifice, but promises the profound rewards of growth, connection, and a lasting legacy. Which path are you treading at this moment? Modern psychology echoes Kierkegaard's warnings. Research reveals that those who chase intrinsic goals, personal growth, meaningful relationships, and contributions to the world experience greater happiness and life satisfaction than those ensnared by the pursuit of external rewards like wealth, fame, or status. Yet, our culture relentlessly nudges us toward the latter. Why? Because a society built on consumerism thrives on discontent. If you were truly satisfied, you wouldn't crave the latest gadget, trend, or product. This is why advertisers don't merely peddle goods. They sell illusions of lifestyles, weaving a web of desire that ensnares the unwary. So, I ask you again, which path are you on? They lead you to think that joy is merely a purchase away. Yet the harsh reality is that no amount of external satisfaction can truly fill the emptiness within. This is why so many individuals, despite possessing everything they believed would bring them happiness, still find themselves feeling hollow. Psychologist Carl Jung poignantly noted that people will go to great lengths, no matter how irrational, to avoid confronting their own souls. The ceaseless chase for pleasure often serves as a distraction from the more challenging, yet fulfilling journey of self-exploration. So, how do we break free from this cycle? It starts with awareness. We need to identify the systems and behaviors that bind us to fleeting pleasures. However, mere awareness isn't sufficient. We must also take action, intentional, sometimes uncomfortable steps toward reclaiming our lives. Begin with small changes, silence notifications, establish boundaries with technology, and opt for meaningful experiences over mindless diversions. These seemingly trivial actions can be transformative in a world crafted to keep us distracted. Reflect on this. What would your life resemble if you chose meaning over momentary pleasure? What habits or beliefs would you need to alter to embark on a journey of growth instead of mere gratification? As we delve into the final chapter of this ominous journey, we will uncover a chilling truth, the ultimate key to shattering the shackles of pleasure. This revelation possesses the power to alter not only the way you exist, but the very essence of who you are. Remain with us, for the most crucial lesson lurks just ahead. We must now face the dark heart of the matter. How do we reclaim our freedom in a world that feeds on our insatiable cravings? The answer lies in grasping a haunting reality. True freedom does not stem from indulging our every whim, but from the grim discipline to choose what genuinely matters. Philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche once stated, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." This insight serves as a cornerstone of liberation. When we tether our lives to a profound purpose, the seductive grasp of fleeting pleasures begins to fade. Purpose becomes a guiding light, steering us through the shadows of distraction and temptation toward a life steeped in significance. Reflect on the lives of those who have left an indelible mark. Visionaries like Mahatma Gandhi, Mother Teresa, or Martin Luther King Jr. Their greatness did not arise from the pursuit of comfort, but from embracing the struggle in the quest for something far greater than themselves. They remind us that the deepest joys often emerge from acts of service, creativity, and perseverance, not from transient indulgences. But how do we unearth our why in a world that relentlessly pulls us into its dark abyss? In his haunting work, Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl illuminates a shadowy path forward. He identifies 3 sources of meaning that beckon us from the depths: the creation of something valuable, the experience of love and connection, and the unsettling growth that arises from suffering. Each of these paths compels us to look beyond our own fleeting desires, urging us to engage with the darker, more profound aspects of life. Begin by confronting these unsettling questions. What legacy will I leave behind when the darkness closes in? How can I wield my strength to aid others in their struggles? When faced with despair, how can I twist it into a catalyst for growth? These inquiries are not for the faint of heart, but they hold the power to transform. By seeking answers, you take the first steps toward shattering the chains of ephemeral pleasure and stepping into a life steeped in purpose. Now, let us delve into the most crucial insight, the revelation that binds it all together. The pursuit of pleasure, while seductive, ultimately serves as a veil, obscuring the deeper quest for meaning. True happiness, as Aristotle posited, emerges from eudaimonia, the flourishing life. This existence is not one of ceaseless indulgence, but rather a life steeped in virtue, wisdom, and deliberate intention. Yet, to embrace such a life, we must cultivate discipline. Discipline is the grim ability to choose long-term rewards over the siren call of short-term gratification. It is the fortitude to reject what is easy and embrace what is right. As Jocko Willink ominously states, discipline equals freedom. To live such a life, we must develop that discipline, for it is the key to navigating the shadows that threaten to consume us. It takes a certain strength to turn away from what is easy and embrace what is right. As Jocko Willink wisely states, discipline equals freedom. Through discipline, we can gain control over our impulses, allowing us to shape our own destinies instead of being held captive by our desires. To nurture this discipline, begin with small, consistent habits. Rise a bit earlier to meditate or reflect on your thoughts. Dedicate time each day to chase a meaningful goal. Minimize distractions that sap your energy and focus. While these small acts of self-control may appear trivial, they create a ripple effect that slowly transforms your life. Consider this poignant truth: embracing discomfort is essential. Growth seldom flourishes in the safety of comfort zones. Whether it involves pushing your physical boundaries, acquiring a new skill, or confronting a painful reality, the willingness to endure discomfort distinguishes those who achieve greatness from those who resign themselves to mediocrity. Reflect on this: each time you choose discipline over fleeting indulgence, you fortify your ability to live with intention. Each moment you resist the allure of distractions, you reclaim a fragment of your freedom. These seemingly minor choices are quiet acts of defiance against a world that thrives on your complacency. As we draw to a close, let us revisit Aldous Huxley's caution. He envisioned a future where pleasure would serve as a means of control, where individuals would willingly exchange their freedom for comfort and their potential for convenience. In this somber reality, the struggle for discipline becomes not just a personal journey, but a poignant reminder of what we risk losing. He also had faith in humanity's ability to be aware and to resist. You possess the strength to liberate yourself by prioritizing purpose over pleasure, discipline over indulgence, and meaning over distraction. You can regain your independence and lead a life filled with genuine fulfillment. So, what will you decide? Will you keep following the easy route dictated by temporary desires, or will you elevate yourself, accepting the challenge of living with intention and purpose? The decision is yours. And keep in mind, this journey is not solely about enhancing your own life. It's also about motivating others to do the same. Share your insights, your challenges, and your successes. Together, we can create a world where freedom is not just an ideal but a tangible reality. This is your opportunity to awaken. The chains may be unseen, but they can be shattered. The road may be difficult, but it leads to greatness. Choose wisely and step confidently into the life you are destined to lead.